Hello everyone, Miraj here. It's a while that I do not upload videos on YouTube, but if even one soul cared about it, I know I'm nobody. I'm still here playing Gwent. Sure, in real life stuff as always messes things up, yet I have all the intention to continue playing my, and hopefully your, favorite card game. So, as I played some less Gwent in the last past months, I got demoted to rank 5. Okay, that's not a bad thing, to be honest, because on that lower rank you are even more free to experiment while winning the vast majority of the time, even with unoptimized deck lists. What I have in store for you today is a Pirate Arnaghad deck, which is far from being the most competitive list out there, but damn if it is a lot of fun. In the description below you can find the link of the in-depth written guide with the deck list you can import. Don't forget to leave a like to the video and to the guide, and to subscribe to the channel. Knowing that you guys appreciate this stuff helps me a lot. But without further ado, let's jump into the guide. So, I feel comfortable to recommend this deck to players that likes to play very aggressive style with no units bullshit, or also if you like to outplay and catch the opponent off guard. The idea of the deck is to play very dangerous cards in round 1 and use them again for round 2 or 3, keeping up the pressure on the opponent. We have to start from Onslaught Leader ability, which is a very flexible ability. It offers a lot in terms of carryover and survivability, and also some charges to remove stuff. Every time an opponent's unit becomes damaged, so it becomes red from either white or green strength, all the pirates and ships in your hand gain 1 armor. So all the game plan will depend on this ability, and we will use it aggressively, combining it with Crach ability, or defensively, stacking armor to make our threats survive opponents' incoming damage. We cannot start mentioning the cards in the deck, but with Crach and Crate, which is the MVP of the deck. It transforms your entire deck into a horde of ferocious ninjas, ready to get rid of the threat your opponents present you without the need to target them. And there is more. Armor on deploy for 3 of our cards in hand, 1 ping every 2 turns, 7 strength body, and reusable with Fukusia and Sigdrilfa's Right, so no wonder that this is the best card in the deck. Play him as safely as possible, maybe behind the defender or by stacking before some armor while it is in hand, and as soon as possible.
Got the heart on Crate.
We have Arnaghad that we use mainly to finish off our opponent, and mainly we play him with the Geralt Quen to get full value of him, protect him for the next turn in which we play Sukrus. This is a very situational also card. It's very difficult to play correctly. You have also to wait and understand what is the best moment to play it, but can also win some games by its own if you understand correctly the matchup. The other high-end gold cards are there for tutoring or revive, so they are pretty straightforward. Fukusia is just a play Crach card, or defender, or even Arnaghad in some situations. Maybe in a niche situation you can also play Sukrus or Holger with her, or also bronze and get some rain value. Oneiromancy, obviously it's just play whatever you need twice. Geralt Quen is for Arnaghad, and he has a secondary target in the Bear Witcher when needed for maybe a tempo option. Then we have Royal Decree, which is Oneiromancy but single use. And then for the other cards we have the Covenant of Steel, which is the defender of the deck. It has incredible synergy with the aggressive style of the deck and of the continuous effect of Crach. It is also reusable with Sigdrilfa's Right, it is actually the main target for Sigtryph's right, and also with Fucusya if needed. It's also a pirate, so you can place it next to Crach to get even more value. Then there is Sukrus. I simply love the design of the card and how you can indirectly impact some plays and outplay the opponent when they think they can destroy your stuff. Cherry on top, you can play the Arnaghad combo with him, and you definitely want to be creative with this card. It can play with suboptimal value if you do not think about his use properly, but can also lead to incredible plays like the Arnaghad combo, or defending Crach or Defender, or you can prevent also damage from a unit played on the right of Crach. So you can get the bonus damage without dealing it to the unit you played. And also you can protect from bleeding, you can protect from weather, or also from opponent's Crach, as you can see in the clip. So be creative with this card, it is very satisfactory to play. Then we have Sigtryph's right. Not much to say here, it's just revive the card you need, mainly the Defender. Holger Blackhand is a very flexible and high value card when paired with the right setup. It can significantly enhance your long round, and it's often used to push round 1 until your opponent pass. Then we have Terror of the Sea, which is the best and threatening finisher of the deck, provided you stacked some armor on it. The main problem of this card is that you have to draw it in round 1 or in round 2 mainly, because otherwise you do not have time to put armor on it and it becomes pretty much useless. But it is a very strong finisher and also some control tool. Bear Witcher is the single Bear Witcher at 5 provision, one of the few slots at 5. It's just the secondary target for Geralt Quen in case of emergency. Then we have the Boat Builders, the only pirates we play at 5 provisions. It's just an all-round card. And the value is pretty much indirect because they play just for 5 points, but they give a lot of armor, and they will gain a lot of armor in hand, and they will deal also 5 damage, 5+ damage played in pair with the Crach. Can protect a lot of stuff, can play for value on the opponent's bombs and no units deck. So it's kind of very useful and flexible option. Then we have the Demon Light Longship, which are very good here. Extremely powerful, especially when armored up, because the armor converts into point and can help stacking a lot of leader's passive. So very good card. The Tursek Invader is just a pirate for 4 provisions. It has decent stats and can be revived through Demon Worship that we will see later on. It's just a decent option. Demon Worship also is just a ship, it's 4 provision, is good power, and a decent effect that enables you to play around many annoying cards and strategies. So it's there for that reason. This is actually the first mulligan fodder for the deck. So if you have it in round 1, just mulligan it away pretty much all the time. There are some exceptions, because stacking armor on them is almost always useless. You want to use the Death Wish effect. Then we have the Demon Corsair, which is our proactive option, just a well-rounded pirate that provides these proactive options that we otherwise lack, and can have a large impact in long rounds, because especially paired with Armored Drakkar, it can generate a lot of points. Then we have the Armored Drakkar. This is again a very good card, mainly indirect value. so can absorb, tank a lot of damage, and there is also the combo with the Demon Corsair that let us do some proactive point gains in also longer rounds. Then we have finally one Whale Harpooner. Again, just a ship for provision. It's a tech card to move stuff around. Sometimes it can assist in killing some units or move something that we need to answer by moving it. Just a tech card. I will leave the matchup guide to the written guide actually, so if you didn't see it, you can click in the link in the description. There is the in-depth guide from which you can get more information and how to play the deck correctly in some specific matchups. And also I will upload some of the match here on YouTube. The first one I want to comment on is some no unit. There are some matches against no unit because many people are like struggling against them. So I want to share how you can handle them pretty easily, pretty straightforward with this deck and win almost all the times. I think this is one of the easiest matchup you can queue on with this deck. So here we are, Guerrilla Tactics, and we have already to be careful on the mulligan, because usually the demon warship are the mulligan fodder, but against this deck you can keep one. If you want both of them, but usually you want to mulligan something to get to your golds. So one demon warship is fine to mulligan, and here also the Bear Witcher to not break the Geralt. So the hand is not very strong. We do not expect to be able to win round one with this hand, even though we will keep on playing up until we can. Our main goal obviously is to stack as much armor as possible in the hand. Remember that armor against this deck equal points, so the more armor you can gain, the more points you effectively gain too. So I start with the Twirsec Invader that gets damaged. It's not a problem because against this deck you have to concede something at the beginning. Just to be in a better position later. So now we have Madoc, and here is important. The Madoc is one of your best friend against this deck, because it will give to you some unit to damage in order to gain some points, some armor in hand. So here the correct play is to play the Demon Light Longship, damage by 1 the Madoc, stack armor in hand as you can see now. And that's it. That's the job of the Demon Light Longship. You do not have to do crazy things, just stack some armor. That will translate in points later. It's fine. And now also we wait for our opponent to make some proactive plays, also because if he plays some bomb, then they are wasted, because the Demon Light Longship is just 2 points. So we force out even Seamless, which is very huge. And I think that's also a mistake by our opponent. But maybe it was just his best proactive option. So it goes for the double harvest. Get his points also in hand. We have to be careful because he has 4 carryover in hand now. And wipe out the board again. Now the Doblathana Whisperer may be very dangerous for round 1. We want to contest the round 1 as much as possible, so I use 1 leader charge there. They are not fundamental for our game plan. And finally decided to go for the Crach, get the armor in hand, which is the best, the most important thing. Do not expect him to survive, to be honest. But yes, I want to be able to try to contest round 1 if my opponent is in an awkward spot. Here the opponent also invests the Forest Protector. which I don't know if it is played in an optimized list. Doesn't matter, to be honest. I have more to show you other no unit decks I queued against, so they are also there with traps and other stuff, and Saskia and so on. But this is just a good showcase. Just play this, get some other armor, and we keep on going. Holger also is a good call here to try to contest round 1. Just stack more armor with the ping from Crach and with the effect from Holger, while also getting some nice points. Now we see what happens. Problem is that the point gap is starting to be quite huge. So right now, counting also the Panther, the point gap is quite big. It's like 22 points at least, which is very difficult to do in a couple of cards for the pirate decks. I could have tried something maybe with the Geralt Quen, but I feel safe to pass here, just monetizing on the carryover armor that I got in the previous round, and I feel comfortable to play in the next round. So now I mulligan the boat builders, I think, with no armor, because they do not have any survivability for them. They will probably just die and that's it. And the second armor, the Drakkar. Fortunately, I also find the Terror of the Seas in round 2. Now here the opponent started with just the Pyrotechnician, and I answered with the Demon Worship with the 3 armor. I was deliberating to not start with it because it was a 7 card and the Demon Worship is quite valuable in this matchup, but finally decided for that, and also to play the Tursek Invader. It's not the end of the world. Maybe you could have also think about playing the Drakkar, but Drakkar is also a nice card that stands on its own. So I maybe prefer to play it in the 3rd round instead of having some liabilities around. A mulligan for the light longship. Don't want the Corsair because it's too much of a proactive option. I want more armor and more stuff. Light longship will be hopefully useful, and here mulliganing would be risking to find the Arnaghad and making our hand a little bit awkward. Also because I have all the tools I want in hand, so there's no need to get another mulligan. The Terror of the Sea is already in the hand. So you can see how here I played the Demon Worship, and the opponent answered very well with the Northern Wind, banishing the Worship, but that's actually fine. So it's also a touch card, and I exchanged in provisions. And now I think it's safe and fine to start pushing a little bit more and using the armor I got. It's the Madoc time, and the Moondust will purify the defender, but as you can see, he played for a 0-point turn, just going through all the armor of the defender. And now I also split the rows because he didn't use any single making a bomb card, so that it will be very, very awkward for him. And as you can see here, I'm continuing trying to making the thing awkward to him. I don't like to give armor to the defender that has been purified, especially if I have the Sigtryg's Right in hand. So I would like to make everything possible to destroy the defender, to be able to replay it again with the Sigtryg's Right. But nevertheless, it's also cool to protect all the stuff and get some more points by negating the damage. Here, the Pyrotechnician hits the best target for him. finishing off with Nature's Rebuke, but that's fine, to be honest. You just needed to think that he will answer most of your threats, and you will do good nevertheless. So now it's the right time to start jamming out the Crach, because it's a lot more difficult to deal with him right now with some units on the field. He has to use a lot of leader charges, and also we have just 3 pirates / ships in hand, and we can create more carryover. Here comes the first making a bomb. And I don't know if here he is like setting another making a bomb, or just bluffing for a crashing trap or something like that. But as you can see, the armor is getting clutched and getting a lot of value, protecting from the damages. Here I place Sukrus stacked with armor to protect the Crach. He can always move him with his leader ability, but it's still not a very efficient answer. Here finally it's time to get out the Arnaghad and put some pressure. I have Sukrus in play, but I still don't want to play Arnaghad next to Sukrus because he have movement available. So it's pretty much useless, and I don't want to give him a free removal window for Crach. So I just place it on top row. They have shields, so they will be valued even more points because they will be protected from damage. As you can see, he started moving and stuff, but his cards are not efficient anymore. So armor is just doing his job of converting their removal into points for me. Fortunately here he gets the damage onto the defender, which actually was the only good target to get points through his damage, so I can finally revive it with the Sigrifa's Right and get everything even more protected. The Saskia Dragon is also protected from damage, so I just wait to get something done later. And here also he is able to destroy the defender in one go, but without actually getting any more points, and by using all the leader charges, so I'm in a very good spot. Here I just use a little interaction with Crach that is able to ping also your unit, so I ping the Drakkar to get 1 more point and fill it with the armor again. It's just something that you have always to keep in mind. I played the Demon Light Longship not next to Crach. Maybe it was better to play it next to Crach, but it doesn't matter very much. Finally, we have the last say, in which I just use the leader charge to clear out Milva to get more points through the Crach effect. Play the Terror of the Sea in the middle between Crach and Sukrus, so it will damage the lowest unit on the opponent board, but will not get damage. And this is one of the strongest combo of the deck. And then just dump down all the armor there. As you can see also, my units are all pretty much armored up, and we have a 22-point lead, so it's pretty much impossible for the opponent to catch up. I don't think even a full stacked gourd with a couple of harvest points on it can do it. So we win by a large margin and with ease. And this is how you play pretty much the matchup. You just stack armor in the first round. If you can win the first round, it's good. Do not overcommit though. The most important thing is just to stack armor, because they will convert in points later on, and it will make your plays much more safer. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the guide and the gameplay. I have more in store for later. And see you the next time.